Means I can't have this baby around the life, even if that means I'm raising it by myself.
Listen, Lee, I don't need to be out of this shit to protect ya. I need to be on top.
That don't work for me. Bye, Tariq.
Now, our Power Book 2 goes setting us up for one of the most tragic deaths we've seen in a long time. Are the walls closing in for one character in particular, or in this instance, two, considering Diana is pregnant, or an alternative scenario with Diana surviving but losing the baby? In this breakdown, we're going to run through the storyline surrounding Diana and the choice that she gave to Tariq at the end of episode 405. But we're going to break down where we are with her character, her decision making, her relationships, and how she still wants out the game to make sure she does right by this baby. However, the environment that she finds herself in, with the people around her, and how it's been teased there are only one of two ways out the game, could time also be ticking? And if it is, if the unthinkable does happen, what impact could this have on both Monet and Tariq's mindset and character sight going into the home stretch for season 4? We're going to break down all things Diana, Monet, and Tariq in terms of where we are with this baby situation, how they've got to this particular position, and where they could be heading in all things Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 Part 2. Now, going into Ghost Season 4, the issue around Diana was of course this betrayal. Her and Drew betrayed Monet and Kane at the end of Season 3 by setting up their mother to die. They were sick of all the lies, manipulation, the control, and also what she did to their father Lorenzo. Across the course of Season 4, we've also been getting small snippets and details in regards to the Tejada backstory, in regards to just how controlling Monet was, and how she actually lied to Diana at the end of Season 3.
And you put all this on me, but what about Lorenzo's hand in raising you? He chose this life for us, not me.
Now, Monet said that Lorenzo was the one who pushed the life on them, how she was tough on them because that's the kind of life that Lorenzo chose, but these flashbacks that we've been seeing in Season 4 really does paint a different picture. We always knew Lorenzo was gone for a large portion of their childhood, and he might have been the one who was still in charge of the business from inside prison, but it wasn't Lorenzo who pushed the life on them, it was Monet all along.
Don't fucking mix our kid with business, Mo. That shit will not end well.
Lorenzo was the one who warned don't mix these kids with business because it won't end well, and he was right. What also came back to haunt Monet many years later was teaching her kids to lie.
Drew, what'd you do today?
I colored.
Diana, what'd you do today?
I play with my toys.
Say it louder.
I play with my toys.
Stop fidgeting.
Very early on, she was the one who taught them how to lie, just like we've seen from Tasha, and just like we've seen from Rock. She taught them how to lie from a very young age, and ironically, it came back to haunt her many years later. In the case of Rock, we all know what a manipulative liar she was, and just have a look at how Kanan turned out later in Power, and that's something I can't wait to get into in a bit more detail in the build up to raising Kanan Season 4. But we had Monet telling Jeanette she never thought her kids would use what she taught them against her, but what did she expect? The moment these kids started to be able to kind of think for themselves, all they've ever done is lie and go behind Monet's back. Just like a young Monet did with Lorenzo, the apple really doesn't fall too far from the tree. So, we can take our pick from a lot of examples from these kids lying and going behind her back from either Seasons 1, 2, or 3. Now, the game-changing moment that we saw in 402 was Diana's pregnancy test coming back as positive, and the Ring doorbell footage which exposed Diana at the end of 403. Her and Drew were literally backed into a corner, where it seemed like literally they had no escape. We had both Kane and Tariq saying Drew and Diana had to go, and Monet agreed, but along with Diana being pregnant, an intervention from Jeanette, and Monet wanting a second chance to do right by her kids, Diana was saved, where we actually saw this warm embrace between mother and daughter that we've never seen before. In previous seasons, Monet's treated her kids more like soldiers, more in a business manner than her actual kids, and this really did mark a huge change. Now in 405, we also saw her going to all this trouble to cook a huge dinner for what was left of the Tejadas. Unfortunately, I do think everything Monet now seems to be doing, it honestly feels like it's way too late. She's not talking to kids anymore, these are full-grown adults who have shown time and time again that they want to live their own lives and make their own decisions. We've got Drew who wants to pursue his passion for art. Kay's now found a new purpose under Noma, doing what he does best, being feared. Although on that topic, I do think mixing business with pleasure won't end well either. But with Diana, she still wants out.
Well, I'm not going to be like Monet. So that means I can't have this baby around the life, even if that means I'm raising it by myself.
Listen,
Now, this is the thing with Diana. She still wants out from this game, which she actually has after Kane kicked her and Drew out of the business. However, on the other hand, we've got Monet who wants back in the game and is hoping the one thing that once broke her family can bring them back together, because that's all Monet actually knows. She doesn't know any other way because she's never tried. Just like Kane said to Drew when they had this standoff. Drew had art, Diana had college, but for Kane, the streets is all he knows, because he's been boxed in his entire life into becoming just a street soldier. Even if he could put on a suit and tie and enter the corporate world, he wouldn't, because for him, it just doesn't feel right. He couldn't stand here in a suit and tie talking in a corporate world, because this is what he does best. This is what he was trained for. Monet is very similar. The game is all she knows, although she should definitely try a different way, because the game is what broke her family before, but we all know she won't. Now, Diana actually recognizes Monet and the street game is the root of a lot of their issues. She realizes the game is what destroyed her family before, and that's why she made it clear to Tariq, if she's gonna raise this baby, they have to do it the right way. They have to raise him or her different to how she was raised. And even though we did actually see both Tariq and Diana coming together, having an honest and mature conversation about what they both wanted and how they were both ready, Tariq went and dropped this speech about him being at the top of the game. This vision of being the so-called biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York.
I don't need to be out of this shit to protect ya. I need to be on top.
Tariq genuinely believes him being at the top of the game is his way of keeping his family safe, which in my opinion is pretty ridiculous, because he said it himself. His father created so many enemies, his past life was always chasing him, so what makes him believe that the same will happen to him on his rise to the top? How many enemies will Tariq create? Does he not think along the way that they're going to kind of look to target Diana and his baby? That's why I thought Tariq was very delusional in what he said, especially because he knows what the consequences are.
I just know I want my family to be safe. That's it.
When you're in this life, your family inherits the risk. You know that. The only way to protect them is to quit.
Your family inherits the risk. If Effie can understand that, then why can't Tariq? So, I do feel Diana was right with what she said. She made it clear to Tariq that wasn't enough. She was going to put herself first and she was going to put the safety of their child first, especially because she has seen at first hand how the game has destroyed the Tejadas. Just have a look at what she's lost, who she's lost, look at what she's been through and some of the things that she's been forced into. Of course, there's always an alternative perspective that we can look at, and Diana definitely isn't innocent with some of the things she's done either, but I do feel she was right in this moment in terms of giving Tariq this choice. Maybe the choice that Corny Kemp spoke about many years ago. Now, will Tariq rethink his plan in regards to the rise to the top of the food chain? What do you guys think? I personally don't think so. I think his mind is pretty made up, and I wouldn't even be surprised if come the end of season 4, he is standing on top. But, just like I mentioned in my breakdown for 405, at what cost? Could it be Tasha? Could Diana and their baby be caught in a crossfire? Or could Diana survive but lose the baby? There's a reason why Tariq is shedding a tear in this image, and I can only think of 1 or 2 reasons as to why. He has to have lost something or someone. Now, if that happens, we do have to consider 2 perspectives. What would that do to Tariq and his character psyche, and what would that do to Monet? For Tariq, if he loses Diana and this unborn baby, then all hell will break loose. The apex predator that he spoke about to Brayden is about to be unleashed, and you can guarantee, whoever could be behind it will definitely suffer the consequence. We only have to look at what Tariq did when his twin sister Raina died at the hands of Ray Ray. He had to be the one to pull the trigger, and I wouldn't be surprised if something very similar happens, but where Tariq then becomes a different kind of animal in the streets. I once referenced how it would be quite ironic for Tariq to go through something very similar to what Tommy went through in terms of losing an unborn child, because that's something they could actually bond over in a future Power series if they were to merge both Ghost and Force. But where we saw Tommy kinda broken inside, I think we'll see a complete opposite with Tariq. He'll be hurt, he may even shed a tear or 2, but because of all the pain and loss that he suffered, it's going to tip him over the edge, where he spills a lot more blood than he already has. Now with Monet, I guess we can say something very similar, but this really would destroy her. If she loses Diana or Diana loses this baby due to external factors involving the street game, she's lost her second chance. She's lost his chance of putting the family back together. And then what does she have left to live for? She already lost Zeke, she killed Mecca, she had a kid's father Lorenzo killed, Kane's also done being a mama's boy. She only just managed to get Drew back and another chance with Diana and her grandchild, who she wants to do right by. But you've got Drew potentially being thrown into jail, and if this was to be ripped away from her, all hell is going to break loose as well. It's going to be absolutely chaos and mayhem, because she's got nothing else to live for. She's lost everything. And that's what I feel they're kind of setting us up for. They're giving us this mother and daughter relationship. They're giving Monet this second chance to do right by her kids. They're trying to show that she can change her ways, and just when she does, they're gonna rip it away in classic power fashion. And honestly, this would be one tragic death that really would hit, especially because she is pregnant. And I can't think of the last time we've actually really been hit with a tragic death. There was Cooper Saxe towards the end of season 3 who was a power OG, but his death really did feel a little underwhelming for an OG. I personally would have liked it to play out different, but if Diana goes, ooh, it definitely will be tragic. Now what it would also do is, it would actually unite Monet and Tariq, maybe against a force who potentially may have taken Diana or the baby away from them. But the way they're kind of building this story with Diana in terms of her saying she wants out the game, the warning shots that she's been given from Drew and Effie, the way they're showing how Monet and Diana are rebuilding this relationship, honestly, I just can't see it ending well at all. So, as I mentioned in my previous breakdown, maybe that's why Tariq is shedding a tear. Maybe that's why Monet looks a little upset. Or maybe this is where Monet's going through another hallucination as she comes back to the Tejada house, where she sees the dinner table. She sees what once used to be a happy family. But drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section and let me know where you stand with this particular storyline. Are they going to hit Tariq and Monet where it hurts? Do you guys think Diana is in danger? Or if not, how do you see the storyline unfolding for Diana, Monet and Tariq? Drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you next time.